Welcome back, everybody. This is Ed Cox for Magnolia Wealth Management, and this is Magnolia on Money, your weekly update on what's happening in the market and what's happening around the country and in the investment markets, and kind of touch on a lot of different things here. But today we're going to talk about oil. We're going to talk about how that has kind of filtered into the economy and how it will affect our economy, how it affects GDP moving forward. I've got a graph I want us all to look at here in a minute. But when you look at where we are, you look at the sanctions that they're looking at putting on Russia, the ones they already have, the amount of oil that we import from Russia, you can kind of understand why this is a part of the market that's very uneasy right now. But I wanted to go back and let's talk a little bit about why that is and how that kind of filters into our demographics of our economy. So when it comes to economic growth, in the United States, consumers are key. We're the driver. We make up 70% of GDP. The consumer does, and so when you go back to what was going on during the pandemic, where the government was sending money out, they were trying to get money into the hands of lower wage earners was kind of the goal. So they had money to spend and kind of keep the economy moving. You got to remember that typically, in typical situations, when we go into recessions or the economy slows down, there's really never any less money in the economy. Typically, money's just not moving as fast in the economy as it once was. And so some of the ways that the Fed and the government does to speed that up is they will put money into the economy to try to get people to start using it. The demographic or the group of people that are using the money that was giving to them are typically the lower wage earners. And I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the graph here. But if you look at the right here where it says full population, so the impact on spending when oil hits $120 a barrel. So for the full population, 2021 average was 4.8. If crude oil rises to 120, you're looking at 5%. So not a huge jump. But where we see the numbers really jump are in the lower wage earners. They don't have a lot of disposable income. Now, when the government was giving money out, they're the ones that, typically if they have money, they're going to spend that money. So if money's in their pocket, they're likely to spend that than save it. A lot of high earners that maybe have the excess probably would just take that money and maybe save it. And so if oil spikes to $120, energy spending may rise to 13.9% of the total spending of those people. So it's a percentage of what they're spending, that's a big jump. And this is the group that has, since the pandemic, extra money in the pockets. They have been spending a lot of the money that's been put in their pockets, which is what the government wanted. But when you take that and you move from a 10% average of what they're spending on energy and you move that to almost 14%, that's a big jump. And so what we're worried about, what the economists are worried about, is that this could lead to slower economic growth. So what we're used to, those consumers spending on goods and services, they're going to be spending a lot of that money on energy, gas, and then, maybe heating the home. So that's what you're seeing kind of trickle in is less money spent on items that will grow the country, cars, TVs, consumer goods like that will push our economy forward and our GDP forward. So when oil prices rise, then they're starting to adjust our GDP number down. We're not gonna grow as fast. We're gonna be spending more money on energy, especially that sector of lower earners. And a lot of those could be retirees, that are retired, that have, fixed income. They can't really adjust that much. budgets are pretty tight already. So this is going to affect the economy. We're still wondering how and how long these residual effects will be. But when you think about oil and you think about what they're talking about, and if you're watch the news and they're talking about the price of oil going to 120, which is what it is today. This is kind of some of the background as to what's going on and how it affects different demographics. The higher earners, a lot less, and even as an overall U.S. population, maybe not a whole lot. But when you dig into the numbers and you really see what the group of individuals with their additional money that the government's put out, how they've been spending that money in the economy, and if they're having to spend that money on energy costs, then that's going to slow the economy growth down. So I hope that's helped. I'm going to try to get back to IRAs next week. I was going to do that today, talk about taxes and the history of taxation, but I thought this was kind of important. Oil's really prices have gone up, and I've got a lot of questions, Ed. How is this going to affect us? It will slow the economy down a little bit more, and that's another reason why we're interested to see what the Fed does this month. And then moving forward, are they going to kind of slow down a little bit from what they previously stated? And how will energy cost affect their decisions moving forward? It's a wait and see game. We're on top of it. We're watching it. Hope this helped. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great week. God bless, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.